G'day fans, welcome to Grand Final Day. It's the 2020 Toyota AFL Premiership Grand Final, just a couple of hours away from this while we're recording now. And it's the Rem and Gordo show, so I'll just give Gordo the go on the summary of this week.
Oh yeah, so after a big weekend last week, we had the Cats get over the top of Brisbane, and Richmond played some ripping footy against Port. Tough game, that one, absolutely.
Definitely.
One of the best games of the season, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, both teams advanced. Probably the two best teams of the year get through the granny. Chris Scott reckons Richmond are a bit better, but I'm not quite sure about that. Obviously, I'm a bit of a biased Geelong supporter, but keen as.
Yeah.
So, Ram, I'll actually ask you, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, no, very, very much the same. I think the two best teams have gotten in it this year. Just felt Richmond's class against Port really stood out. Winning by 6 behinds could have easily been 36 points instead of 6 points. And Geelong just decided to take an extra gear against Brisbane, really. Just standout contributors like Gary Rowan's clutch goals and the way Gazza wants to go out with a bang. You just feel it's maybe Geelong's year. I just feel they've got this sense of selflessness this year that my beloved West Coast had in 2018. It's very similar. I just feel as though Geelong, they're here to prove something, and I feel like this could be it for them, maybe. But coming up against a ferocious Richmond side, you just do not know what's going to happen. So either way, it's going to be a cracking grand final, and I'm really looking forward to it in a couple of hours.
Yeah, so the Cats, I think, match up pretty well against Richmond. A lot will come down to the weather, I think. It's raining a bit in Brisbane at the moment, and it's expected to keep going. So there's a bit of shakiness around there for the Cats, but I still think their smalls can match up with the Richmond smalls.
Very evenly matched, aren't they?
Castagna
versus Rowan nearly.
Yeah, but then the little fellas Myers versus Rioli.
Yeah, Rioli.
Those two forwards, I reckon they'll have big days.
It's just about getting that consistency. Yeah.
Kick early goals in this one, and I reckon they could be a good chance. I think Geelong's pressure from their forward line has been really good.
Definitely.
And their defence not letting teams score, especially at the Gabba.
That's magnificent.
I think that Richmond like to play a running game. They work really hard in the contest, and they set up well behind the ball. And then when teams try to bomb it in long, you've got Grimes and you've got Hooley and Boston there to cut it off and rebound, and that's where they kick their goals, even if they don't win the clearance on the wing.
But even on Geelong's defence, you can't forget the likes of Tommy Stewart and Jake Colin-Jasny, just in the prime of their careers, I feel, and even just Harry Taylor, pretty solid down back still at 34 years of age. Really good matchups all over the ground. I just feel though, Richmond's tall timber, Tom Lynch and Jack Revolt, they could get a stranglehold of Geelong if they let them. But in greasy conditions, it could take the talls out of this one, and it will be down to the little fellas. So really looking forward to see if the battle between those guys. So we'll see what happens. But Tomahawk as well down forward for the Cats. Dylan Grimes has got a massive job, but he takes the big guns nearly every week. Dylan Grimes with those contested marks, intercept marking ability. So I guess what we'll go into now, we might go into Norm Smith tipping.
Right. So I think obviously the Norm Smith medal will go to a player from the team that wins it. I'm going to go Mitch Duncan personally. I think he's a red hot favourite if Dusty or Danger don't get it. But I reckon Mitch Duncan through the midfield could get 20 plus disposals. And if he does that and slots a couple goals, I reckon he's got his name all over it. No matter how well Dusty does for Richmond.
Yeah. My vote's a bit probably towards the Richmond side, unfortunately for you, Gordo. But I think Dion Presti is due for a big one. Thought he was going to, I thought he would have had a bit better qualifying final. I think it was he returned, but no, the way he's come back, I reckon he's due for a big one. But could well easily see the likes of Dangerfield and Selwood step up for the Cats and have a big one. Even as a smoky Menegola for the Cats.
He's a lot of the footy on the wing, doesn't he?
Yeah, gets a lot of the footy and just knows how to cover the ground. Either way, it's going to be a tight tussle for that Norm Smith medal. So I guess what we'll go into now is what we reckon the match will consist of. Like the quarter by quarter will go.
Right, yeah. It's hard. It's obviously hard to predict a game like a grand final. I think it'll be close all game, but quarter one, I think Geelong could get away early. I think there's been a lot of build up about Richmond, and you see Richmond in big games, they sort of stand up. But if the Cats get up in the first quarter, it'll really take a 4-quarter effort, but the first quarter goes a long way to winning it. Kick the first or second goal. If they kick the first, they've got to kick the second.
Yes.
If they miss out on the first, they have to kick the second.
But as we saw in the stat this week, unfortunately, the last 6 grand finals, the team that kicks the first goal for their club unfortunately loses it, but that's just a bit of a nothing stat in terms of winning, but it's just a quirky stat out there for you guys and girls. But quarter one for me, I feel as though Richmond, they could. I reckon they'll conserve a bit of energy for the first quarter or so and start to pounce in the later half of the game. But as Gordo said, the Cats, they've got to get this fast start, I believe. They could really stranglehold the Richmond Tigers if they get off to this fast start, but I reckon Richmond's smart enough to know that we can conserve energy and still hold just be in the balance with Geelong at quarter time. So I'm predicting around 5 points either way of either team. Yeah,
good tip. Yeah. I think Richmond, as you've seen in previous finals, Adelaide Crows went with them for the first quarter and were ahead of them after the first quarter. But Richmond's stranglehold, they get you in the second, in clutch moments as well. Not just in the first 5 minutes of the quarter, but in the second half of the quarters where teams start to fade out, Richmond have got you. So I really think that
tip for the first quarter.
Tip for the first quarter. I reckon, as you said, either team. Yeah. I reckon I'm gonna go Richmond by 6 points though. I think Richmond might come back in that second half of the quarter. Anyway, second quarter.
Second quarter. So I reckon you'll start to see a bit of the game slow down a tiny bit in wet weather, but it'll be really high pressure. Second quarter is usually the one that's really high pressure, getting into the premiership quarter. But as we go into half time, I believe Richmond will start to put a tiny bit of a foot down on Geelong. But if Geelong gets that momentum, you could easily find Geelong could carry a 20 to 30 point lead in at half time if they start to really get in the mental side of the Richmond Tigers. So what we'll see is, I reckon there's going to be a real blowout either way in the second quarter. I can't really see either team just easily just fighting for each other, being neck and neck in that second quarter. It's going to be one team that dominates, and I believe Richmond by about 19 points at half time.
Right, yeah, I'm going to go. I think that from the Adelaide Crows game, the Crows only kicked 2 points, I think, in that second quarter, whereas Richmond polled on 4 goals. I thought
2017 grand final.
Yeah, 2017 grand final.
Yeah.
And then fast forward that to 2019, Richmond, again, they just tore it up. GWS stood no chance. So I think Geelong, if they can match it with Richmond and expect that to come, I think that they can really get off to get a little bit of a lead, just 10 points.
Yeah.
But nothing spectacular. 10 points. I'm going at half time.
Yeah, fair assessment there. So we head into half time. The boys had a break. and we're going to the third quarter. So what I reckon what will happen here is a real tight tussle. The premiership quarter, you could easily see Richmond getting a big break on Geelong here. But Geelong, I reckon, they're going to stand a good chance in this quarter. I believe it will be neck and neck, and they're going to pull the lead back a little bit, I believe. Just feel like Dangerfield and Ablett want this premiership medal badly, and that I think they'll shine in the premiership quarter. So my tip for the third quarter is Richmond by, say, 9 points heading into the final term.
Right, yeah. I think Geelong do bounce back well after the halftime break. I think they approached the game well for the second half of the match, and I think they could easily go either way. I mean, that's what all this is about. It's just sort of predictions, but observations of what could happen. So I'm going to go Richmond to fight it back a little bit, but still have Geelong leading by a goal coming into the final quarter.
Yeah. So we head into the big one, hey? The final quarter, the quarter that determines the winner really now. So what you'll see, I reckon, is Richmond start to really put the foot down, I believe. But you could also see Geelong really carry that momentum through to the final siren and see the likes of Tomahawk and Dangerfield link up play and really start to put a stranglehold on Richmond, which not many teams have done this year. So, but in saying that, unfortunately, I feel like Tom Lynch and Jack Revolt will fire in the final quarter, and Dion Prestia will start to have one of the quarters of his career, get around 12 to 13 disposals and put the foot down on Geelong, and Richmond win by 38 points. So, but that's just a prediction. It could easily go either way. Your tip, Gordo?
So Cats come in up by a goal. I think that if Dangerfield and Selwood and the big leaders at Geelong can smell it, and they can get the forward entries and limit Richmond's rebound, I really think that over the period of the last quarter, it could easily go Geelong's way, and they might be able to push it out to 2 or 3 goals at the end of the game, and that would absolutely seal it. And yeah, that would be great. I'm tipping Geelong by 17 points in the end. I think it's a fair observation. I think Richmond go into this game slight favourites because of the weather, but other than that, there's not much separating these two sides, so it'll be a really, really, really good game to watch, I think.
Just as a neutral though, I'm tipping Richmond as a winner, but I'd love to see a draw as a West Coast supporter. I reckon the extra time would be pretty memorable for 2020. I just feel as though that would really set the excitement up and just kick off, set 2020 AFL season out with a bang. I just feel as though that's what we deserve as neutral supporters, but as a Richmond or Cats fan, I don't think I would love that. But so either way, it should be a cracking grand final. All the best, Gordo.
Looking forward to it, Ram.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure recording this show so far.
It's
been a fantastic final series, and we're hoping for some great footy tonight.
No worries. Enjoy your day, and Barricade in the granny either way or as a neutral. Cheers.